rainbow thing. Hey Reddit, Vince here. I'm just going to show you real quick my D-flat spotting rig as some of you requested. Um, it can be used for removing flat spots, obviously, for removing the cone in your wheels, the coning, breaking your wheels in, changing the lip profile, as well as making grooves in the wheels for rain skating. So uh, bear with me please for my English. I usually speak French, so I hope you'll be able to understand everything. Otherwise, just ask me in the comments, I'll be glad to answer. So without further ado, let's start. Alright, so here's the setup. First of all, there's the box right here. It's made out of 1.5 centimeter plywood. I wouldn't go much thinner than this to make sure that the box holds up to the wobble and the beating it's going to take when everything is going to be spinning. So this bar right here and this plastic part are what constrains the plane when the wheel is spinning, when you grind the urethane away, so that you have consistent diameter for the whole set of wheel and you can remove coning efficiently. So starting with the front part right here, there's obviously room to work here. There are two grooves that allow the bolts to slide. The bolts are secured with a nut on the other side and washers, obviously. The sides are pretty simple. It's a rectangle with holes in them to accommodate for the bearings that are on the axle. The back's just a rectangle and Swiss the bottom. This part right here is just a piece of plastic that happened to fit quite nicely on there. It's to make sure that when I grind the urethane off the wheel, the plane does not go through the wood, so that I have a nice flat and horizontal surface to work with. Moving on with the axle, here's the whole setup in order. So this is the axle, an 8mm steel rod, which I have put threads on to allow for me to use nuts. So you'd secure this part with the chuck of the drill. Right next would be the two bearings that fit in the hole that I just talked about. Then two spacers, make sure that the wheel does not come in contact with the side of the box. This is a small ring that I use to make sure that the wheel does not spin independently from the drill. So they fit on the axle. And then there are two bearings which I fit in the wheel. As you can see, there's a hot glue which I poured in to make sure that they don't spin at all. Then obviously there's the wheel, the other bearing, another ring, two more spacers. These two nuts are used to tighten the whole thing, so to put the pressure on the wheel. The second nut right here is to make sure that the first nut does not come loose if the whole thing vibrates. And there's these two nuts which hold the two last bearings in place. So that's pretty much it. There's the plane I use to grind the urethane off. It's kind of like a cheese shredder. So when adjusting the rig, you want to make sure that when you look at the steel bar, you see just a little bit of the urethane hanging off between the steel bar and the plastic back. So that's the urethane you're going to be grinding away. Alright, so that's what the setup's going to look like when it's assembled. So you get the bearings here, which are all secured. You tighten the nuts real nice so that the wheel doesn't spin, and the drill is right here. So now I'm going to grind the urethane off. Alright, so these are two batches of wheels I've been working on. These 83A stems are the ones you saw me grind. So these had coning as well as a few flat spots, which I fixed. And as you can hopefully see, the diameter of the wheels is very consistent from one wheel to the other, and I've measured it. It's fractions of a millimeter difference. These are, remember, peewees. They had pretty bad ovaling, which I fixed on each wheel, and they also have the same diameter throughout the batch. And just to show you real quick, when I spin the wheels, you can see that they're real nice and round again. Same thing with this one. So just to show you that the process really works pretty well. Alright, so I'm about to break this wheel in. It's a called TFR, so it's obviously not broken in, still got the urethane skin on it. I've done this eBay 11 free ride, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's really nice. It's got the same finish as a stone ground wheel, so instead of spending maybe an hour in the hills trying to break your wheels in, you could spend 2 minutes on the rig and break them in already, so that's really nice for that. Alright, so after breaking them in with the rig, you can see that the first layer of urethane has been ground off, and the finish is the same one as a wheel you would buy at the store. Looks nice and slidey, ready to hit the hills. Right before I finish this video, guys, I just wanted to show you my latest build. It's a board rack, complete with speed vents and everything. I'm gonna paint it black, slap some stickers on there. Gonna be pretty rad. Anyways, if you have enjoyed this video, have any questions, feel like talking about your day, comments, improvements, complaints, anything, just hit me up. So that's it. I hope you learned something new. Again, I'm sorry for the accent. Thanks for watching, guys. Now go shred.